What's good, car family? Happy Wednesday. How's everybody doing tonight? Hope well. So these videos are always a little tough, or these kind of moves are tough. I think this one's a little different, but so the Cowboys cut Jaylon Smith today, and it's always tough to see a player that you've been following and that you like to leave, right? To be released from the team or traded or whatever it might be. Um, and it's tough to see Jaylon go because I I really liked Jaylon Smith. I was a huge fan of his. Hell, I'll admit to probably staying on the Jaylon train longer than I should have. Um, but I did kind of want to talk through just the situation in general and what I think it means. And so I think everybody knows that, Jaylon had a horrific leg injury at Notre Dame in 2015. The Cowboys took a chance on him in the draft and made him their number 2 overall pick. And, he sat out a year, had this incredible comeback, ended up being a pretty damn good linebacker in 18, 19, in 19, made a Pro Bowl in 2019. I think he was viewed around the league as like an up and coming star. And then last year happened, and it was kind of like the chinks in the armor started to show. A lot of critics of Jaylon last year. He actually led the team in tackles last year, but a lot of people felt like he was more so, making tackles out of position, running people down, that sort of thing. And so there was a lot of people already on the bandwagon, for Jaylon to go, and he had signed this huge contract, super high paid for a linebacker. And a lot of people thought he would go prior to this season, so the Cowboys would save cap space. And when they didn't, it kind of seemed like, all right, well, they're committed to him. And then Parsons comes on the scene. They end up, instead of drafting a corner, they draft Parsons, Jabril Cox. They signed Keanu Neal. Man, it just wasn't looking good for Jaylon. And you see how things turned out. I'll say there's a lot of tape floating around right now. I could have easily pulled some of it up. There's a lot of video, a lot of footage of Jaylon this year playing pretty bad, being out of position, and I'm not going to do that to him. I'm not going to share that video because I love the guy. I think he was a good leader. I think he put it all out there for the team, and that's the one thing that worries me. I'm not worried from a position perspective. I think he wasn't getting a lot of snaps anyway. He's become a liability in coverage. He had last year. His change of direction. I think everybody was starting to see that he was a liability. Change in direction, coverage. He was even starting to be a liability against the run this year. So I'm not worried about him leaving from a playmaker standpoint. I think seemed like he was a leader, seemed like he was a solid player. I hope him leaving doesn't put a bad taste in this team's mouth and, hurt the team in any way. Morale, that sort of thing. I don't know. I hope that's not the case. And what I also think is, Dallas parting ways with him. Number one, it doesn't save us any money this year. Potentially saves a ton of money next year. But, parting ways like mid-season at 3-1 with a veteran linebacker, not saving you any money, it's weird. But I think it really says that, number one, they're sold on Micah Parsons. Number two, they feel okay with Keanu Neal. Number 3, maybe they want to start looking at Jabril Cox. And number 4, I think it is really showing that the past Dallas Cowboys are just that, being left in the past, because I think Dallas has built up a history of sticking with guys with big contracts, uh, Jerry Jones favorites, coaches favorites, even when they weren't playing well. And this definitely goes to show that's not the case anymore. I think this has got Mike McCarthy written all over it. McCarthy, a lot of people criticize him, but one thing he is not is he's not going to employ folks that don't produce. And I think that's what this is. So I think that's a good thing. I think that's a change in philosophy. And, I hope nothing but the best for Jaylon. I will miss him. I thought he was going to be a staple of our defense for another 5 or 6 years, and he's not. And look, I think I read this afternoon or this evening that he landed in Green Bay. So I wish him nothing but the best in Green Bay. I hope he doesn't come back to be a nemesis of the Cowboys. I hope he makes more Pro Bowls, but tough to see him go, but I get it. I get it. I think it probably makes sense, and you never know. He may have more and better opportunity somewhere else. So with that said, Jaylon Smith moves from the current Cowboys box. That's my autos and a few things I had top loaded, and all that stuff will go into the past and retired Cowboys box. So see you later, Jaylon Smith. I appreciate y'all watching. Keep it real. I'm out.